What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, to discuss another new episode of Married at First Sight, you guys. This is season 18, episode number 15. The episode was titled Cheat and Retreat, you guys. Now, before we get into this episode, if you guys are watching this episode review, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into this episode of Married at First Sight, you guys. When I tell you that this episode was a doozy, you guys, it was an interesting episode to me because it was a lot of foolery and fuckery in this episode. But if you guys, like I said, if you guys watched it, chime in the comment section, live chat, let me know what you guys thought about it. These two fools that I got on my as my thumbnail, they tried to last night's episode. So this episode, it opens up where the last one ended, and you guys remember Michelle was, questioning the whole thing about David and Madison, right? And so Madison is upset, saying that she wants to go home. And I'm like, girl, if this isn't true about you and David, then you wouldn't be feeling the feelings that you're feeling. But a hit dog is always gonna holler. And that's exactly what it is with Madison. I'm like, Madison, I don't know who you trying to fool, who you trying to pull the wool over. Your reaction gives it away. If you are not the one that was David was texting, if you're not the one that David is having any kind of communication with, you would simply be like, you know what, Michelle, it ain't me. If you're trying to allude to it, the fact that it's me, it's not me. But you couldn't do that. So then Madison says she was in the kitchen with it was Michelle, it was Madison, it was Amem, Camille, and Carla, right? They're in the kitchen talking, and she's talking about how overwhelmed she was by both Michelle and Amem. I was like, girl, you definitely are overwhelmed by Amem, because who really cares about Ikechi, right? Like, let's just be real about the situation. Who gives a flying fuck about Ikechi? Not I, said the cat. So Michelle says that she feels like everyone is taking David's side. And I can honestly get where Michelle is coming from. And you guys know that Michelle is not somebody that I am too fond of. I don't see it for Michelle, but I'm not going to sit here and, gloss over anything that Michelle is saying, despite how I feel. Carla is like, no, Carla said, no, that's not what it is. And even Camille said, no, that's not what it is. The only person who didn't really chime in is Madison, right? So we see Alan, he was outside having a conversation with David. And he was talking to David, telling David, like, he doesn't, what David did wasn't right, but he doesn't feel like David is fully wrong. And I was like, now, how was that? How was that? Because I mean, he's a married man having conversations with, and I'm using air quotes, Tiffany. So I don't really know how you can sit there and say that he's not at fault. He's done nothing wrong. So please make me understand that. I'm just kind of confused by that, Alan. But if that's what Alan wants to say, we'll let Alan have it temporarily. So after that, we see David. So David apologized to Michelle, saying that that's he, this is not who he is. He's a good person. He was raised by good people and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China, David? Like, I want you to make me understand. What are you saying to Michelle? What does that have to do with anything? And honestly, when it comes down to David, David was trying to absolve his guilt for what he's done. You know what I'm saying? Has Michelle been perfect in this marriage? No. But I'm not going to sit here and dog pile on Michelle. It's like we said last week about Michelle. This is the ego thing for Michelle, and I'll give you that. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like David and try to blame Michelle for everything that's going on, because Michelle is not to blame for all this stuff with David. So he apologized for deflecting and putting things back on Michelle. I don't, honestly, to be quite honest with you guys, I don't believe anything that was coming out of David's lying ass mouth. I'm actually with Michelle when it comes down to it. Like, David, you're a liar. You had ample opportunity to tell Michelle the truth, but instead you create. And here's the thing with like, this is why I don't see it for people who lie, because you tell one lie and then you have to follow that lie up with another lie, and it's like, no, like, that's why I don't see it. Like, no, 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 no. And that's exactly what David is doing. David keeps digging a hole deeper and deeper for himself, and he keeps telling multiple lies to Michelle. And it's like, dude, if you had been honest with Michelle in the first place, all of this could have easily been avoided. But you decided to continuously lie to the girl. For what reason? I do not know. Actually, I know what reason he did it for. David wants to look like the good guy and make Michelle look like the bad person and the villain in this whole story. That's really what it is when it comes to David. Like, I see David for who he is. Like I said earlier, can we say that Michelle didn't give David a fair shake when they got married? Yes, I'll give her that. And I will say Michelle. It did seem like at times Michelle was trying to come around, but I think honestly, Michelle was just trying to fake. I feel like she was faking the funk with trying to come around. But you guys definitely tell me what you think and feel in the comment section, right? So then after that, Michelle is talking to him, and she said, "So what you're saying is, it sounds like it's my fault." I was like, "That's exactly what he's saying," because he's saying you weren't giving him things that he needed and all this kind of stuff. Okay, if she was okay, I get that. She wasn't giving you, quote unquote, the things that you needed in the marriage. You haven't expressed yourself well enough, number one. Number two, why not ask for, like, I know y'all will get fined, but shit, ask for a damn divorce. Ask for a divorce. Like, that's another easy thing you can do. Ask for a divorce, but you did not do it. And that's where my problem lies with David. Now, after that, she asked him about Tiffany. And remember last week he was saying with Tiffany, he deleted the text thread, he deleted her phone number from his phone, right? I didn't buy that bullshit. I knew right then and there David was lying through his teeth, right? So Michelle's like, well, how do I know that you're telling me the truth? He's like, well, that's for you to believe. Well, that's for you to believe. No, it's not for her to believe. If you're telling the truth, you could eat, like, if you're telling the truth, you would have been honest from the get-go. So now you put seeds of doubt in her head. So you can't say that it's for her to believe. No, if you had been honest with her and told her, yo, yeah, that text message wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant for, and you started this out by saying it was for your cousin about food, when we all knew it was not to your cousin or about no damn food, right? But then you come back and say you're talking to an ex named Tiffany. So how was Michelle supposed to believe you? And then for you to sit there and play like she's, the fact that you played on that girl, and again, not a Michelle fan, but I can defend Michelle in this particular moment because David is 100% wrong, right? But Michelle said that she doesn't believe David, and I'm like, I'm glad you don't. And I'm glad that Michelle did not let that go, because there's no way I would have let it go. Like, there's no way I would have let it go. So then after that, we see as Michelle, she went to go talk to Amim and Camille. And she's telling them that, I don't really buy or believe this whole Tiffany thing. And I was like, you shouldn't, because there are some, like, with David, he has poked, there have been so many holes in his story. And I'm glad that Michelle didn't let it go. Michelle told them that she has a hunch that it's Madison. I was like, you're on the right train. You're on the right train. And Camille, Camille and Amim are like, oh, you really think it's Madison? And she's like, yes, because she's thinking back to the night that she got the text message from David. She knew that David was out with Alan, Carla, and Madison and Alan, right? She knew that he was out with them. And so she's thinking maybe he went in his phone, he went to the M contacts. He was thinking he was texting Madison, but instead he texted Michelle. Which David, like, and then the question I have is like, how drunk were you that you didn't realize that you text Madison? You didn't text Madison, you text Michelle. Like, Madison and Michelle, yes, they start with an M, but after the M, it's an A and an I. But okay, he did that, right? So Amim, Amim feels like she should go talk to David and try to get the answers from him. And I'm like, she's been doing that for a while, and David keeps lying to her. So I don't really know what that would accomplish. And even Michelle said that, like, that's not going to do anything because David is going to continuously lie. But Michelle did talk about the fact that when they were at the table, how Madison got up and walked away. Like I said just a few minutes ago, that was really just a hit dog hollering, to be quite honest with you. Madison getting up from that table. Madison knew she was fucked up. Madison knew she was wrong. And Madison couldn't take the conversation. So what Madison do? Madison decides to get up from the table and walk away like a child and avoid, any kind of conflict, confrontation, or anything of the matter. And that's why I don't like 100% see it for Madison right now. Madison and David are on my shit list. Like, both of them are on my shit list. So after that, we see as Madison and Alan, they went go-karting. This is the part of the episode where I was like, I really started to feel bad because you can see from Alan that Alan is really trying with Madison. And I think Madison was just playing a game. The thing that I will say is we've given Madison a little leeway because at least Madison wasn't so rude when it came to Alan, much like with Michelle. But looking at it now, I feel like Madison is worse than Michelle because you've been pretending like you want to make this marriage work with Alan. This man has been changing himself for you, which I can't blame her for that. But this man has been bending over backwards and twisting himself like a pretzel to make you like him. He's fixing his teeth. He's buying clothes. He's doing all this stuff to please Madison so that, he would be what Madison would go for. Madison, you got low ass standards, number one. You're interested in David, who lives at home in his parents' basement. That says a lot about who you are and where you are in your life, that you would go for a man that ain't financially stable, whereas Alan is stable financially and mentally, and all that stuff. Might not be stable physically, but mentally and financially, Alan is miles ahead of David and this damn man bun. But if that's what Madison wants, cool. So they're talking about their chemistry, which there is no chemistry, and decision day vastly approaching, right? So Alan asked her, if she thinks that they've made any progress. She said, well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be here if we hadn't. I was like, girl, the only reason why you're still there is so that you don't get fined and so that way you can have a way to be around David. Miss me with all the bullshit, Madison. She was pissing me off. So he wants to know if she likes him and if she sees something with him. She said, yes. I said, bullshit. But she said, it's just a lot going on. I'm like, girl, And they showed on the screen at one point in this episode, it's 8 days into decision day. So y'all got less than a week into decision day, and you still playing these Jedi mind tricks with Alan. Your karma is gonna be the karma that you're gonna give Madison and Alan. It's gonna be a swift kick in the ass for both y'all motherfuckers. Like y'all are trifling. Y'all are some trifling motherfuckers. And I still just don't get, like, here's the thing. If Alan wants to work on his teeth, that's on Alan to do. If Alan wants to do something with his wardrobe, that is on Alan to do, right? But you got David, who has a shitty wardrobe as well. Hey, Shayna, this episode was a lot. It was. You got, like I said, David has terrible wardrobe. So you going from one person with terrible wardrobe to another person with terrible wardrobe. You going from one person with bad teeth to another person with bad teeth, because David got David. If you look at his front teeth, one of them is crooked, and I ain't really looked at his bottom row, but that top row, one of his teeth on the top is crooked. But okay, only thing about David that she likes is the fact that they both go to the gym. That's about it. Like I said, Madison is full of shit. What are you and David gonna do? Again, this man lives in his parents' basement. But whatever. We're gonna keep it pushing, you guys. Like Madison really pissed me off. And when we get to this scene right here that's on my screen, the gaslighting from both Madison and David infuriated me. Is it El Cid? Correct me if I'm wrong. Give the people what they want. Madison must like the basement. She must like their basement, because I can't like, what is it about David? Like, she was pissing me off. Now, we'll briefly talk about Carla and Juan doing the pottery. It wasn't really much of that scene that I found interesting. Although, only thing that I found interesting from the pottery scene with Carla and Juan was the sexual innuendos. That was it. Nothing else with that scene. Do I think that Carla and Juan gonna say yes at decision day? I absolutely do not. I do not think that they're gonna say yes at decision day. I think Juan is gonna say no. I really think Juan is gonna say no. Okay, thank you. I got it right. Oh, I do not want to butcher your name, but I believe it's Vanilla. Now your last name, I know I would butcher. You said that's the gag. David is no better at all. At all. It's like, I don't know if she looks at David as a prize. I can't wait to get to the reunion. I cannot wait for the reunion to see what happens. You say Alan, at least, exactly, financially stable, which I did mention, that financially stable and can cook. David's still living at his mama's house, exactly, in a fucking basement that he painted off like it was a basement apartment. Then this man has been talking about how financially stable, if he wanted a house, he could get one. But I think David was full of shit with that too. Elsa says Michelle's just mad someone else wants David when she tossed him like trash. I agree with you. With that. With Michelle, it's just an ego thing. Michelle ain't fooling me, but I'm not upset. I'm really not upset with Michelle, because she clocked it. She called it out. But yeah, Michelle is an ego thing. But also when it comes to David, the fact that David was gaslighting Michelle and trying to sit there and say, oh, well, you weren't giving me this and you weren't doing that and you weren't doing this. Dude, play them games with somebody else. Now, we move on. We'll briefly talk about Thomas and Camille, because it ain't really much with them either. Thomas and Camille, they talked about being parents, right? Thomas asked Camille if she ready to be a parent. And she said yes, but in about 2 years. They also talked about, how they want to be in a good place financially for the kids. They also, before they have kids, they want to be able to enjoy themselves and do, just go out, live their lives and have fun, right? I get that. That's kind of where I'm at with my life, right? They did talk, he did talk about how scary it is thinking about, raising a kid. That is also something that I thought about too, is raising kids. Like, you don't want to mess up with the kids. You don't want to ever have a situation where your kids come back and say, You weren't the best parent to me. So I get I get that with them. And that's all we had with them. Shayna says, Michelle is also mad she got played on TV. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Uh Thomas needs Thomas needed a vacation and took this time to sleep. It's so funny. Thomas, when Camille went up to the room with him earlier in the episode, and she was talking about what was happening. He was like, I don't want nothing to do with that. I was like, I am right there with you, Thomas. Don't nobody want nothing to do with this. David and Madison are so messy. Um, Also, not to body shame, but I don't see no gym body on David. He was just going for Madison. I saw them, child. I cannot. I saw them titties on the honeymoon. And I was thinking that myself, and I agree. We're not gonna body shame David, but I have been thinking that myself. It's like David don't look like he really goes to the gym like that. Let me clean it up. Let me clean it up a little better, right? David can go to the gym, right? David kind of gives you the mindset of people who go to the gym just to maintain their weight, right? Not someone who works out, building muscles or anything like that. David just looked like somebody who goes to the gym, probably get on the treadmill, jump rope, um, cycle, and walk, all kind of do that kind of stuff, right? Again, just to maintain their weight. That's what I get when it comes to David. Nope, you're right on time. You're right on time because I ain't even got to the good part of the episode yet. So no, you're right on time. So let's keep going, you guys. We talked about Thomas and Camille again. One much to it. So now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the damn episode. So Michelle pulled Alan to the side, right? I was looking at this part of this episode and I was like, how do I feel about this? Because with Michelle, let's just be real about it with Michelle. Michelle doesn't give a fuck that David is talking to Madison or any other woman. Michelle doesn't care because Michelle really didn't want David in the first place. So Michelle isn't upset. But who is going to be upset and hurt is Alan because Alan is putting everything into this relationship with Madison when we all can see Madison was never interested in Alan in any way, shape, form, or fashion, right? That was what I was thinking. Michelle played a dangerous game. Alan could have hurt himself or others. That was really where I was coming from. It was like I was more so worried about Alan. And then when I saw him drinking, I was like, oh shit, please do not get behind the wheel of a car, sir. So Michelle is, relaying the conversation that she had with Madison to um Alan, right? Well, what she had with the other girls, and her thought process is she's thinking that maybe the text message was actually meant for Madison, and which she knew it. Which here's my thing, Michelle. I think you knew by this point because you came up with it. So the way you came up with it, I'm like, you knew that text message was meant for Madison. Um, Michelle was hovering to watch the wreckage. I agree. But now Michelle's trying to pretend like she cares when she just loved being Nancy Drew. I think Michelle wanted I think Michelle wanted to Madison. I think you said she wanted Michelle wanted I think Michelle wanted to she's trying to call out Madison for being I get it. Michelle Michelle showed her inner Karen. Sorry, not sorry. She absolutely did. I really and see my heart broke for Alan in this scene because Alan doesn't want to believe that it's Madison that text message was meant for. But Michelle then spelled it out. She was like, well, here's the thing. I don't believe that there was ever a picture, which there never was a picture. What it is Madison was in the bar with him. He was looking across the bar at Madison. He was like, damn, Madison is fine. And he meant to text Madison and not Michelle, right? But Alan can't see that. And I think the reason why Alan couldn't see that is because, again, Alan is putting his all into this relationship with Madison. Again, why? I don't know. But I just don't understand, and I felt bad for my boy. You say I was waiting for the Scooby-Doo gang to jump out behind Michelle at any moment. Oh, Michelle. Like I said, I can't be mad at Michelle, but I can see what Michelle was doing. Like I said, Michelle doesn't care about David. This is all about Michelle's bruised ass ego, the audacity that this broke ass man is gonna go behind my back and cheat on me with somebody else. The audacity. That's really what it is with Michelle. It's the pure audacity for her. She again does not give a fuck about David. Because if you look at her when it finally came out, she was cool and calm. Who was upset? Alan was upset. Alan was the one that was upset because he was the one that was really hurt because he was the one that was putting effort into this, not Michelle. It was strictly her ego. And that's why I don't see it for Michelle. Exactly. Pure ego. That's why I can't see it for Michelle. That's why I can't feel sorry. I feel sorry for Michelle in a sense that she got played by somebody like that. But I don't feel bad for Michelle because, Michelle, you weren't happy with this man. You were miserable. It was the thing that was pissing me off with Michelle and David were the experts. The experts really tried their hardest to keep these two together. I'm like, why are you trying to keep this train wreck together? This has got to be for ratings. We don't want to see this. So she's at this point, she was trying to ask Alan what he remembers about the night. Alan doesn't really remember much. We also found out that Alan left. So it was at one point, Carla and Madison went to another bar. David came to that bar. I was like, oh, so that's probably when this shit happened. Alan went around. David, you a grimy son of a bitch. Like you too, Madison. Like y'all been befriending these two people and y'all been doing this, but more so you, David, because I'm pretty sure you and Madison have had conversations about how Alan is really trying with her and y'all still doing this to him. Pieces of shit. So Michelle's like, well, I could be bugging out. Michelle, you know you're not bugging out. You know that you're not bugging out. Like I was irritated with Michelle. I was so irritated with Michelle. Michelle made David sleep outside on the honeymoon. They'll be mad when he finds someplace else to stay. Exactly. So then this is where the episode kind of got weird for me too. No, I get that none of them are friends, but they're building relationships with each other. That's what I'm saying. The fact that David is trying to sit here and build a relationship with Alan. I get what you're saying. They're not, they just made each other, so they're not like best friends. They ain't known each other for years. But the fact that with David is you're trying to build a bond with this group and with a man that you are secretly pining after his wife. Weird. Alan is better than me. When we get to that part, Alan is a better person than I could ever. He is what I hope to be. They've been messing around since the honeymoon, Jim. See, I believe that too. I don't buy the fake "I like you" convo. They've been messing. That conversation pissed me off, and I felt like I was being gaslit. I honestly felt like they were gaslighting the fuck out of me with that scene. That's why it's my thumbnail. Grandma says, "How you get them is how you lose them." Amen. My grandmother used to say that too, and that is why I always think about how I think about that stuff. I don't want that karma coming back to me. Now, they play the game of most likely. I'm not going to talk about the stuff at the beginning of it because I didn't care about it. Like who was most likely to get taken out in a horror movie. I don't give a damn about that. We want to get to the messy questions. So one of the questions was like, who's most likely to get caught cheating? Now, Thomas, I knew what you meant when you said that it was you, but you should have said somebody else because I know you cheated on somebody else, and I know you got caught cheating, but you really should have done better with that question, my buddy. You should have said David. That was an easy answer, not yourself. Because if I was Camille, I would have been looking at you like, so you think you're gonna cheat on me? Yeah, Thomas, don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that. But everybody else would have said it was David. I was like, is that Michelle's question? Because I was seriously thinking, is that Michelle's question? Yeah, Thomas, don't really, Thomas? Thomas was saying Thomas was saying he ain't got game to hide cheating. I get it, but sir, don't ever do that again. Thomas was tired. Give him a break, LOL. And I do like Thomas, but I was just like when he flipped his around and said Thomas and pointed up at him, I was like, wow. I mean, again, I get it. You cheated before, and you saying you ain't got it. You ain't got game to get. I get it. But the easiest answer would have been the nigga that's sitting right next to you, David. So then there was another question of who was most likely to swap partners. I was like, well, this is interesting. Juan said Madison. I was like, oh, wow. Michelle didn't write nothing on hers. I was like, Michelle. You know who's swapping. It's your husband and Madison. Why you didn't write Madison and David? Michelle, go on somewhere with this bullshit, Michelle. So then once again, after the game was over, because Alan got up and said he had to take a call, but he was in the kitchen and Michelle went in there. Once again, Michelle is running off on her suspicions about David and Madison. I was like, girl, are you going to call Madison out at this? Like, I was waiting for her to call Madison out because she was honestly getting on my last nerve. Because Michelle keeps saying, I don't know if I'm making this up. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna look like a whole asshole. Girl, just put the shit on the table. If you wrong, you're wrong. If you right, hallelujah. She was getting on my nerves, right? But like I said, I hated to see this scene because you can see how hurt Alan is with this whole conversation. And I'm like, Michelle, stop talking to Alan. Don't talk to your husband because he's gonna lie to you. Go talk to Madison. So we see her as she pull Madison aside. Madison, did you and David like try to figure out how to come up with how to wiggle your way out of this situation? Because neither one of y'all made any sense whatsoever, and y'all made yourself look even more guilty. So Michelle pulled Madison to the side, right? And Michelle told Madison her theory, and she asked her if the text message was for her. She says, well, I don't know. Well, it shouldn't be for me. If it wasn't for you, the easiest answer would have been, Michelle, girl, why do you think that? First of all, what? Huh? You're asking me if your husband's texting me. Girl, why? Where would you get that? Where would that thought come from? No, that text message was not for me. That text message is not for me. I would hope it's not for me. If it was for me, let me tell you this right here, right quickly. I ain't nowhere near interested in your husband. That's the easy way to clear it up. But Madison is going all around the mulberry bush to answer this question. And I was like, girl, shut up. Like, shut up. Michelle's a coward with Madison. She buck up with David, but not Madison. I agree. Michelle's not afraid to call anyone out on their BS. She slow burned it this time. That was my problem with Michelle. It was a slow burn. It was like, Michelle, you put everything together. Like you done put the Blues Clues together. So you got the Blues Clues. Put it in your handy dandy notebook and put it together. And you've done it. Like you've done it, Michelle. So I don't know why Michelle was just teeter-tottering with it. Like that was what was getting on my nerves. That was the part that was getting on my nerves with this episode is how long it was taking, right? Now, Madison, Michelle asked Madison if she has David's phone number, and she says yes, right? So Michelle asked her, well, have you guys ever text? She said no, but she said, we have text before about the gym. I was like, so that was a lie because you just said no. You said you have his phone number. You've never texted him, but you text him about the gym. Madison, keep your lies together. So she said, well, if you want to see my phone, I'll definitely show you my phone. If I was Michelle, I would have said, okay, let me see your phone. So let's get to the comments. Michelle, why do you care? You don't want that man. Exactly. That's something I was just about to say. So I'm going to get to your comment, but I just saw production. I honestly feel like production knew about this at some point because the way that producer in that rainbow colored outfit went in there and talked to Madison. I really feel like the producers knew this. Production may have even asked her to draw it out like she's playing Clue. I kind of feel like that too, because the way that this episode was so drawn out and dramatic. Married at First Sight, Australia, always have a cheating scandal. I was waiting for it in the US. Oh, really? I might have to check out Australia. That's interesting that they always have a cheating scandal in Australia. That is terrible. That is terrible, 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 terrible. So we see as Michelle went back to Amim and Camille, and she's telling them the conversation that she's having with Madison, and the fact that Madison couldn't say straight up no that the text message wasn't for me. Well, to Madison's defense, how would she know that text message was for her or wasn't for her, right? But I will give Michelle credit for the way that she answered the question and the follow up questions. It was suspect and it was shady as hell. So I'll give Michelle that, right? So once again, Amim is saying, well, why don't you go talk to David? Girl, David is going to lie to her. What is the purpose of her having a conversation with David? Like, David lies. But he wants to pay. See, the thing with David is, I think David would have gone, if he never sent Michelle that text message, he would have gone the rest of the season making Michelle the villain. When y'all are both villains in this whole storyline, to be quite honest with you. Michelle ain't perfect, but neither are you, David. Married at First Sight UK has also let swap partners continue in the process together. Really? Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, and also, oh no, we haven't got to that part yet because I'm getting ahead of myself. So Madison went to go check on Alan. He told her he needed a minute, and I don't blame him, right? Here's another scene with Carla and Juan, you guys. I don't care about it. They were by a campfire. He played the guitar. He was singing to her offbeat. We can move on. He told her everything's gonna be okay with them. Cool. Juan, you're lying to Carla. Stop lying to that girl. Now, back to Michelle. So Michelle decided that she wants to go confront David once again. I was like, my God, when is it going to come out? So she asked if the message was for Madison. He says no. She said, so you're not going to ask me where did I come up with that? You're not curious about that? He said no. I said, Michelle, the reason why he ain't going to confront you about that is because he knows that text message was for Madison. He's not going to tell you that right now. Like I promise you guys, Michelle was getting on my nerves at times. I don't put anything. I don't but it anything Madison's. I am sure they had a conversation about the text, and David told her it was for her. Yeah, I honestly, here's the thing. When David sent that text message to Michelle, and he caught it, I believe he probably did text Madison. But here's also the thing with this. They're in the same building with each other. They're at a bar. I feel like he was like, fuck, I was sending here's probably what happened, right? He probably was like, you know what? I was sending you a text message talking about I wanted to eat you up. I accidentally sent to Michelle. I think these two already knew about that. He don't carry absolutely he don't carry the who says I want to eat you up to a friend you ain't messing with. Exactly. Well, let him tell it was a cousin. Let him say it was his cousin. That's even worse that you're gonna sit there and tell your cousin you want to eat them up. But you're talking about food. Whatever. If Madison and David want people to whatever, like I said, I'm gonna get to it in a minute because David and Madison pissed me off with this scene that's on my screen. I bet they've been in deep for a while and came up with that I like you crap on the fly. Absolutely. They planned that. That was so orchestrated and planned because I didn't believe nothing Madison was saying. And Madison had a smile and a smirk on her face the entire fucking time. So damn, that plane is low. So Madison, she went and sat down with Michelle, right? And asking her why is she involved in it. And she says, she asked if Carla, she said, well, I know that you guys went out. It was you, Carla, David, and Alan. And she's like, well, did you question Carla? And Madison and Michelle was like, no, I didn't question her because I know David's type and you're David's type. I was like, well, shut that down. So Madison wants to tell Michelle she's not hiding anything from her. And she said that, we have texted each other, but we've texted each other about the gym. And she says, I'll show you my phone. So Madison goes to her phone, goes to her DMs from David. It's empty. I was like, if you ain't got to hide anything and you've already admitted that you two have had conversations with each other, why is the thread empty? Why is the thread empty if you've talked to him, but it's been about the gym? Whatever, Madison. Whatever. Then she goes to her text messages. There are no text messages from him. But Michelle's like, but you said you text him. I was like, exactly. She's lying to you. So that's when the producer asked her if it's true. And she says, I don't know. She's like, I don't know what to do. Like, it'll break Alan. And I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Girl, shut up. The way you kept creeping, the way you creep in at night at 1, 2, and 3 in the morning. I just have one question. Like, where did you and David go? Did you go to his basement? Oh God, why would you? Here's the thing. This ain't no judgment to anybody who lives at home with their parents, because I've dated someone who lives at home with their parents, right? And it worked, right? I don't judge that. I don't have a problem with that. As long as you are working and trying to build something for yourself, we're fine. I have no problem with that. But with David just gives bum energy to me. And I wouldn't go for that. Carla said my name Bennett and I ain't in it. And she did. Madison lied straight to her face. She did. Man, I would have had David saved in my phone as Deborah. Something. Something. Like, come on. To delete the whole damn text thread, girl, come with something better. Velvet Taco was their spot. Girl, and it must be the parking lot because Velvet Taco is closed. Like, there's a Velvet Taco literally right up the street from my apartment. And when I came home, like, so you guys know I went to Atlanta this past weekend and I was there with Scotty, and I came back home on Sunday night and it was 1 o'clock in the morning when I got home. It was midnight when I got off the plane, and I had to go to the train station to get to my car. When I got to my car, it was like 12:50, I believe. And when I got home, it was almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Around the same time, Madison gets back in the house, and guess who was closed? Velvet Taco was closed. Not a peep. Nobody was at no damn Velvet Taco. Like, girl, Velvet Taco? I could see it if it was like an after hours. If you named an after hour spot in Chicago that's open late, but Velvet Taco, girl, go to hell. You could tell by the tilt of that producer's head that he was looking at her sideways when he asked if there was truth to it. Then she crumbled. Exactly. All that was missing was Michelle bringing in a blonde long strand, saying it's not hers. Madison, the fact that she said I didn't want to hurt anybody. What did you think was going to happen, Madison? Like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? You thought Alan was just going to be okay with this? The man has bent over backwards for you. And like I said, I've been frustrated and pissed that he's done it, because I could see that Madison wasn't truly interested in Alan like that. And it just, seeing him upset really upset me. Now, Madison, Madison, who in the hell did you think you were fooling? So you go to David's room and wake David up. And David's like, oh, I'm getting woke up out of my sleep. Damn. You're happy to see that you're being woke up out of your sleep by Madison. Don't play me. Play with Jesus. Play with Jesus and not with me and not with the rest of the viewers of this damn show. So these two decide to sit down with each other and have a heart to heart with each other, So Madison starts first, and she tells David, "Yeah, David, I really like you, and I want to see where this goes. Girl, you already know where it's gone. You guys have been doing this for quite some time now." So Madison, Fucku. I spelled it for you. Like, girl, oh, she pissed. Like, it was the gaslighting in this scene because I'm like, y'all not gonna sit here and y'all not gonna sit here and piss in my face and tell me it's lemonade and rain coming down from the sky because fuck both of y'all. Yeah, Alan had me concerned. I really was concerned with Alan. She let Alan waste a ton of money to boot. That's what I was. Oh, it was the because you guys know I have braces on my teeth, and I know how much that stuff costs. And sometimes Invisalign can cost more than traditional braces. And that was my thing. It's like this man has done so much stuff to make you happy and please you, but then you still over here with David, whose teeth ain't no better than his teeth ain't no better than damn Allen's. Like, go to hell, go to hell, Madison. So then David says, "Well, yeah, I like you too, and and there were things that I wasn't getting from my wife. If you say that there were things that you weren't getting from your wife one more fucking time, I'm gonna reach through that. I want to reach through that TV screen and slap the fuck out of him. I want to slap the fuck out of him. Keep saying that. Um, Madison, I like you. Do you like me too? The lies, the lies, the lies. In my candy voice. Alan, next one I'm gonna appreciate. She will. Alan is a good person. Alan, what I will say for you is we gonna have to like the drinking and stuff and potentially driving, sir. We're gonna have to cut that out expeditiously. David's wardrobe is worse than Alan's too. Exactly. Exactly. You go from Alan to tacky. But if Madison likes it, we're gonna let Madison have it. But okay, Madison, please miss me with this. But when I tell you guys, this scene right here of these two trying to tell each other that they just came to this realization that they like each other. Fuck both of y'all. Fuck the both of y'all. Like, fuck the both of y'all for trying to play in my face and the rest of the world's face. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that scene in just a minute. Alan is destructive, and calling her the B word had me concerned. I'm gonna talk about that in just a minute because that is the only thing that I will say is I did not like was the fact that he called her a bitch. I was like, "Ooh, Alan, buddy, I get that you're mad. How are you doing today?" Y'all know I don't try to butcher names, so I see you and I'm saying, "Hey, um, T is." They said, "Child, are they in his mama's basement?" Just hey, Miss Baythane, just saying hey. And this episode was a lot, and it was. You're saying Miss Honey is saying to El Cid, I think that was just an initial distress reaction. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it. I really did not like. But the interesting thing was that Madison, like, you got so upset with Alan a few episodes ago when he was talking about you going out. Ooh, Madison, girl, go to hell. Madison's the type of girl you keep far you keep far away. Like, yeah. So David then admitted that the text message was for Madison. Nigga, we knew that. You ain't fooling us. So we see now this is the scene where I say, David, you lucky that you had Alan sitting next to you. So David taps Alan on the shoulder like, we need to talk. Whoa. Again, David, you're so lucky that you had Alan doing that. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay. So how you treat them, how you treat me when you mad is I agree with you guys. Like, but what I will say, you guys, I didn't like him calling her a bitch, right? And we can say that, but I kind of think we have to think about. I want us to think about this from Alan's perspective, right? Like I just said, Alan has put so much into this shit with Madison. He's got these damn aligners on his teeth that hurt like a motherfucker. He's bought clothes to make her appreciate him. So he was wrong for calling her a bitch. But I think honestly, in that, I think he was just mad. I don't think he meant it, but it just came out of the bitch just flew out of his mouth. And I was like, damn, Alan, you shouldn't have said it. Madison didn't want Alan going out to see David walking down the hall. Yeah, very cool name. A very cool name. But so yeah, back to what I lost my train of thought, you guys. But yeah, David, you are absolutely 1000% lucky that you had Alan sitting by you, because for you to sit there and say to that man, I have a deeper connection with your wife than you do, that would have been, I would have been right. The cameras, the production crew, everybody would have to came out there to get me off of David, because I would have bust David in his fucking mouth when he said that to him. Because I was like, the audacity of you, that you have a deeper connection with him than he does. You have a deeper connection with his wife than he does, because you don't, and then you don't have a connection with your wife. David, we know that you don't have a connection with Michelle. That's not a shock to anybody. We know that. That was so damn disrespectful. And then he's telling Alan that there's a vibe with him and Madison, and there's no vibe with those two. Again, you would have called two to the motherfucking dome if it was me. Baby Alan, better return them clothes. Better take them back expeditiously. Be like, I didn't wear these clothes. I know you saw the camera crew here, but shit, I didn't wear them clothes. I don't know nothing about them clothes. They don't fit. They weren't a good fit for me. Oh no, them clothes would have went back expeditiously. And when he said $3,000, I was like, shit. What kind of store did y'all go to? My God, today. I mean, I ain't saying that I want to spend $3,000 on some clothes, but not to please somebody. Not to please somebody. If you don't, I mean, look at what the fuck David got on in this picture. Look like he got on some tie-dye pants with a pink shirt, and then his hair is tied up in a bun. So, you know what, Madison? Go ahead. If that's your king, let that be your king. But Alan's crash out was 100% justified. This girl has played him from day one. She has, and that's why I said earlier, you know, we've talked about how mean Michelle has been to David, but with Madison is worse than Michelle, because Madison pretended as if she was interested in David, or they could not David. She was pretending with Alan as if they could find some common ground and move forward. And she's still doing this 8 days into decision day. So he is justified for his anger, but I just didn't like him calling her a bitch. That's just my thing. He did look good. You know, I mean, Alan looked good in them clothes. We ain't gonna take that away from him. I hope that Madison does the same thing for David, because David dressed worse or worser. Shout out to Future. I didn't think David was Mrs. Steal Your Girl. I didn't either. I like his hair. I like his hair better to pull on. I mean, I don't have a problem with his hair. I don't. I'm just making a joke, but I'm just saying the thing is, his hair is not done, but she's complained about Alan's appearance. Alan's appearance looks much better than David's appearance, in my personal opinion. You guys may disagree with me, and that's fine. They both couldn't wait 8 weeks. Damn, that shows zero integrity. I don't care. If David was in an unhappy marriage, that is not okay. I agree. Oh, Miss Honey, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You said love your recaps, please. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You say, dang, autocorrect is my nemesis. It's okay. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, David, I promise you're lucky that Alan is not me, because me and you would have been fighting. Period, point blank. Instead of Alan punching them damn cabinets, I would have been punching your face. I would have 100% been punching the fuck out of your face. But it is what it is, right? Now, what I will say is I love the fact that when Alan got pissed off, Alan walked outside, right? But Amim and Juan following behind him, and Amim was like, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna stay right here with us. Like, you don't need to leave." Juan even said, "No, you don't need to go anywhere. You're staying right here with us." And then even when not David, but when Alan called her a bitch, he was like, Juan was like, "No, we're not gonna do that." And I was like, "Exactly. Let's not do like you can be mad at Madison. You have every reason in the world to be mad at Madison, but let's not disrespect Madison and call her a bitch. You know what I'm saying?" Like I said, he is 100% well within his right to be upset, angry, frustrated, pissed off because she's played him this entire time. Madison, you knew from the wedding that you were not interested in him. Even with Alyssa, Alyssa definitely was a capital B word, right? I ain't gonna call her what it is, but we remember with Alyssa. Alyssa was a nasty spirit. Alyssa was disgusting. Alyssa was despicable. But at least Alyssa was open about how she felt about. Was it Chris? At least Alyssa was open. Madison, you're a coward. You're a coward, and David, so are you. Like Alan didn't deserve this, and like Vanell said, y'all couldn't wait 8 weeks. I'm pretty sure these two done got it popping like a semi-automatic. That's why Michelle talking could be dangerous. Men get into fights for less. Exactly. Alan's a milder man due to being a people pleaser all his life. It's mostly his silent dad's fault. It is. But that people pleasing thing would have subsided that in that episode because David would have got monkey stomped by me. And it ain't even the fact that you guys did this. That is a problem. It was the fact that he's having this conversation with this man and talking about it's you opening up a wound and you pouring salt in it, telling this man, "Oh, you don't have a connection with your wife, but I do. Oh, you ain't got a vibe with your wife, but I do." Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh. So then, David, the fact that you have me defending Michelle, I didn't think that this would happen, but I had to defend Michelle because then you want to sit there and apologize to Michelle. It's like, what are you apologizing to her for? You're only apologizing now because you got caught. Shout out to Rihanna. Like, you only apologizing because you got caught. Because like I said earlier, if he actually sent the text message to Madison like he meant to, I don't think any of this would have came out into the reunion. I don't think any of this would have come out into the reunion. Or maybe even decision day. But the fact that you were so sloppy in how you did it, and then again, you keep sitting here blaming Michelle. Okay, we gonna play. I'm not, you know what? I'm not gonna say play devil's advocate. I'm just gonna go along with what David is trying to paint Michelle. Okay, Michelle wasn't showing you any attention, any affection, anything, right? Okay, but that means that you have to go and hop on Madison. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go hop on Madison. No, that shows a lack of restraint from you. But now that I look back on everything that we saw with David, it was all a game. I feel like I think we all are on a consensus that they've been messing around since the honeymoon, since they went to the gym together the first time, and I'm using air quotes when I say that. Y'all have been messing around since then. So everything David has tried to do with Michelle has been a game to make Michelle look like the bad person, and so he can skate and look like, oh, Michelle is this nasty person. Oh, Michelle is mean. Oh, Michelle is rude, which are things that are true about Michelle. But you're no better than Michelle is. You're no better than Michelle. The only difference between you and Michelle is Michelle was open about her shit. You hid like a coward. That's the problem with you. You want to talk about, oh, you're a good man and all this kind of stuff. No, you ain't a good man. Exactly what it was like. It's like saying, I can satisfy your wife. Miss Honey agrees with me. They were working out all right, just not in the gym. I agree. I agree. They are some awful game. Like they playing a game, but they were awful at it. But that's all I got, you guys. Thank you guys for joining me for this live. I did not expect us to go an hour, but I knew that there was probably be a long live, just because of this bullshit with Madison and taken from my girl Tammy Talks control. Oh God. Whew. They tried it. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the review. I really do. I do my best. I do my best with these. I do my best with all my reviews that I do. I hope that you guys are definitely entertained with what I do. And I know a lot of people say they like to hear a male's perspective from on these, especially like with this Married at First Sight and Rated to Love. So yeah, David, fuck you. Madison, fuck you too. Michelle, do I want to say fuck you to Michelle? Michelle, I'm gonna let you off. I'm gonna let you off this time. Michelle, I'm gonna let you skate by. I'm gonna let you skate by because you didn't piss me off that much in this episode. You didn't piss me off that much. You didn't piss me off that much this episode. Not you say yes, say it to Michelle. So we gonna say fuck Michelle too. We gonna say fuck Michelle too. The thing with like I said with Michelle, honestly, I do. The more I think about it, I do feel like that was the producers in Michelle's ear, because I think the producer. You can't tell me these people didn't know that these two diphthongs, idiots, losers were hooking up. Ms. Baythang says, I'll catch the replay. See you soon for the yes, you guys. If you guys, which I have to get off of here soon so I can actually finish the episode of Beverly Hills so I can do my live before we do the panel. And we are going to be on Bell Perspectives platform tonight. And Scotty won't be there because today is Scotty's birthday. So if you guys are subscribed to Scotty, go tell my friend happy birthday. Today is his birthday. Like I said earlier, you guys know I went to Atlanta, spent the weekend with him, had an amazing time. We will definitely talk about my weekend in Atlanta. It was fun. No, we got to call the Karens out. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna say fuck Michelle too. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say fuck Michelle because you hurt Alan in the process because you did not give a flying fuck about David. So yeah, it is fuck Michelle. But I'm still glad that you did it. But yeah, fuck you, Michelle. Oh, y'all know it's been fuck him. Y'all know it's been fuck Itchy Scratchy. Y'all know it's been fuck that man. Oh, I can't wait. The reunion, I know for a fact he is going to piss me off. Ooh, I know that man gonna piss me off with the reunion. I know Itchy Scratchy is gonna piss me off at the reunion, and I'm not looking forward to it. I wish they would just tell him to stay home for the reunion, but they can't do that because he's a part of the cast. Ooh, if I never see that man again in my life, I will be so happy. Rose says, whether we like her or not, Michelle did the Lord's work with revealing this BS. She did. Alan wouldn't have known until the reunion if it wasn't for Nancy Michelle Drew. That's what I said earlier. I did say that. I don't think that we would have, if it wasn't for dumbass David texting Michelle, we wouldn't have found out until the reunion. Like, is this for real? He gonna leave the reunion early? Because I hope so. I pray he leaves the reunion early. Pray that man leaves the reunion early. Because I can't stand that man. Oh. Lord, please let it be. Speaking of which, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna get off. The experts. Because I didn't see what was coming up on next week's episode. But I know goddamn well Dr. Pia, Dr. Pepper, and Pastor Calvin, They better read up and down on Madison and David. They bets to go in. And Dr. Pia, I'm gonna need you to really say something because you and Pastor Cal, both of y'all. I need y'all to say something because Pastor Calvin and Dr. Pia, y'all have really tried to keep those two together for God knows what reason. So I'm gonna need y'all to say something. I need y'all to show up. When y'all do show up, y'all better fucking show up and let them have it. That is all I gotta say when it comes to those. Oh God, because yeah, oh you guys, that's what I need to do too. I want to watch the after party because I didn't watch it last night. I don't really watch the after party. They better work. Yes. We need to go back to Dr. Jessica time, even though she married a former groom. Oh damn. Before I get off here, because I know a lot of my peers watched the after show and reviewed the after show. Is it worth my time to talk about you guys? Let me know. Because if it is, what I'll do next week is but that's 3 hours of Married at First Sight. Well, that's 3 hours worth of the Married at First Sight. Fuck. Now, what I did see, Michelle looked like she lost some weight and she looked nice. You say Michelle was smug on after part. Oh, well, if she was smug, I damn sure don't want to watch it. But what I'm thinking about, just let me know. Does the after party be good? Is it worth us talking about you guys? If it is, what I'll do next week is I'll watch the episode and after party, and then for the live next week, we'll just discuss both the after party and the episode. So let me know if you guys are interested in that and if the after party is ever really worth discussing. Because like I said, I know some of my peers have definitely discussed the after party, and I know that they've talked about. I know Ikechi has been on there, and he said some shit on there too. When it comes to him, you guys, if he's on the after party, I refuse to watch it because I don't want to hear him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to do anything involving Ikechi at all. Okay, you say sometimes it's good. Okay, so what I'll do next week is I'll watch the after party. If it's worth us discussing it, we'll discuss it. If not, then we'll just talk about the episode. But yeah, you guys, I appreciate you guys for joining me for this live. I also appreciate the new subscribers, you guys. I appreciate you guys. Again, I hope that I was able to entertain you guys at some point in this live. Rose says, yes, it's worth it. Keisha has been doing a good job holding the cast accountable for their behavior this season. Okay. All right. So yeah, like I said, if next week's episode of the after party, I heard Misha say that last night because I was on her live. So it's moving to Peacock. Well, I pay for Peacock, so shit, we'll still be able to watch it. So we'll still be reviewing Married at First Sight. I hope when it going to Peacock, we cut an hour and a half off, maybe even a whole hour. We can minimize this to just an hour, because I mean 2 hours of Married at First Sight. My God, today the show be a lot, but I agree with that part too. We need a new reunion host because Kevin is not for me. He don't do what I think what needs to be done. But yeah, okay, so we're moving to Peacock. Interesting. I'm here for it. But yeah, you guys, that's all I got. So yeah, if you guys watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I will be going live. I'm going to try to go live about 5 o'clock, hopefully 5:15, and then the panel will be going live about, I think. I actually got to look and see what time Bell said it for, but it should be between 6 to 7. But I'll be for sure to let you guys know when I get to the Beverly Hills. Keisha should host it. I've watched Keisha on the after party, and I like her on there because it does feel like she does, hold them accountable. So I'm here for it. Kevin there for hair and makeup. I'm done. Keisha already knows everything and everyone pretty deep. Yeah, I think Keisha would be a good host. I don't know why they keep Kevin. I really truly don't, because Kevin does nothing for me. But it is what it is. But again, guys, I appreciate that is all we got. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go watch this week's after party. If I feel like discussing it, it'll probably be a pre-recorded video that I do. So, but I'll keep you guys updated if I do decide to do it. But as always, you guys, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to come and watch me, listen to me talk about these shows. You guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Be blessed. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.